Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Dadas Show, coming to you from Trizon Resident Hotel here in Kilimani, Nairobi. I'm your host, Ashiko Mbune. As our name suggests, Dadas Show aspires to promote the spirit of sisterhood, solidarity and inclusivity amongst the women of Kenya. And we do this by creating a safe and an open platform for women to discuss any and all issues pertaining to their health and well-being, their lifestyle and careers, their families, among other topics. We also take pride in having the conversations that matter, not only to women, but to society at large. Now, retirement is much more than leaving a job. To most women, it comes at a time when children have grown up and left home. So in essence, you're retiring also from full-time parenting. Now, retirement can be a season of change. It can be a season of freedom or uncertainty, but it can also be an opportunity to rediscover yourself. How do you prepare socially, physically, mentally, and also psychologically for this chapter of your life? On today's discussion, we're talking about life after retirement. How do you prepare for this new phase of your life? How do you embrace retirement with confidence, purpose, and peace of mind? So be it 5 years or 30 years from now that you plan on retiring, this is definitely the conversation for you. As always, we welcome you at home to take part and keep this conversation going on all our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1. You can also engage me at Ashiko the host across all social media platforms, or you can reach us on Facebook at Dadas Show KBC. Remember, we look forward to your feedback, your questions about this and any other episode we've aired before, and like, follow, and subscribe. Welcome back. Today's topic of conversation is life after retirement. So if you're sitting there and you're joining us and you're thinking, this is not important for me, you know, I'm still in my 20s, I'm still in my 30s, I have 40 years to go, depending on, you know, what you consider the retirement age, you're wrong. This conversation is definitely for everybody. This is the right time to start planning for your retirement, be it socially, be it financially, be it, psychologically even. So joining me to unpack today's conversation, I'm joined by two lovely ladies. I don't want to call them retirees because that's a title that many people don't like, but I'm joined by Madam Ann Kamau and Madam Carol Muhonja. Karibuni sana, ladies. I look forward to, picking your brains about where we are all heading, because I keep on saying retirement is an eventuality. It's not an if, it's a when. Of course, I cannot fail to acknowledge my wonderful audience who take time to come and sit with me as we discuss, as we share, as we learn, as we unlearn through communication here on Dadas Show. Of course, I cannot fail to acknowledge you at home who tunes into KBC Channel 1 every Sunday and every Sunday at 4 p.m. and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. to watch Dadas Show. We appreciate you. Asante sana. So, tuanze. We start our conversation on retirement. There's a myth that, when you retire now, officially you have no value to society, and some I love being in Africa because Africa is one of the societies, African society is one of the ones that reveres a lot or their older people, though now we are getting westernized, but I'm jumping ahead of the gun. So let's just start first of all with a little bit of introduction about yourself, and then I'll start off with you, Anne, and then you can tell us, for someone like you who you spent decades building your career, when the chapter ended, where were you? Especially now that the job title is gone, and how did you rediscover yourself? But first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you very much, and I'm glad to be here. Thank you, our audience, and thank you for inviting me here. And indeed, retirement is a conversation that we must have in this nation. And as we go into the next chapter, I have been in corporate for over 25 years. And like you said, in 2021, my corporate title came to an end because I decided that the next chapter of my life will not be in corporate.
Yes.
And immediately you are rightful saying that most of us are identified by our job titles. And immediately you do that, people start asking you, where are you nowadays? What do you do? And that can be baffling sometimes. But it was a clear conscience that I needed to go back to school and reskill myself, retool myself for the next phase of my life. And that's when I joined USIU for my doctorate degree. I'm Dr. Ann Kamau.
Oh, we need to check that. Doctor. Wow, I love it. As in, I even have goose pimples. I didn't even anticipate that the conversation was going to take that turn. So, Dr. Ann Kamau, you just decided to go back to school.
Yes, because in the next phase of my life, which was what you're calling retirement, I wanted to have more time to myself.
Yes.
As we grow older, you realize you've been chasing a lot of things in life, and so many things have defined you, but you've lost yourself. So what doctorate does for me is that then I can do a lot of part-timing work. I'm part-timing in a university, and I'm also a consultant.
Wow.
And I have a lot of time to myself.
And you have a lot of time. The key word is time to yourself.
Self-care is important.
Oh, wow, I love that.
Because then you rediscover yourself, you know, the skills that you have that you couldn't because you had an 8 to 5. Nowadays I think it's an 8 to 10 job.
Yes.
Because when you're working online, you're working more. You are thinking more, and you're building somebody else's business. You're building somebody else's skills, and then you're lost. You don't have your own skills. When you have time to yourself, start managing yourself. You discover you are an asset to yourself and the society that you live in.
That's brilliant.
Yes.
That's wonderful. Because we all get caught up in the rat race. And when I say when talk retirement, as we started off by saying, it's not even so much even just about leaving a job. Even as parents, even as mothers especially, we invest our time, our energy, every single resource, our emotional assets to the children. And then they grow up, which they do, and then they leave. And so you're finding yourself with an emptiness and nothing. You don't know who to talk to. You don't even know what yourself, because for the longest time you were an employee, or the other time you were mom. You know, so I think this is a very, very important conversation to be had. And I congratulate you for going back, even having the confidence. That takes courage. Having the confidence to say, you know what, let me test this brain and see if I can sit in a class. Let me see. Mintaanguka mitihani yote. Class nitaanguka. But let's move on to you, Carol. Carol, you're a friend of Dadas, so definitely our audience are familiar with you. You've been in the space of when we're talking about teachers and we're talking about education. This has been your livelihood, but then you retired. So. For many people worry that retirement slows someone. Now, I know it's not slowed you down, but has retirement opened new opportunities, passions, and purpose for you, just like Daktari?
Thank you, Ashiko, for having me. My name is Caroline Muhonja Kahingo. I have a doctorate in strategic management, and that is one of the reasons I left teaching to finish my thesis, because it was a challenge balancing the two. After I decided to go for retirement at 50 and not 60, so it was voluntary retirement.
Yes. Yeah.
And just like Daktari, I have opportunities to do part-time lecturing. I do team building. And I have a new baby that I'm nurturing, Campfire Ladies Retreat, where I organize trips for ladies over 40, and we get to a place where we talk about retirement, about our life, and what we want to achieve in this next season.
But you're also Dr. Carol, aren't you?
Yeah.
Panel. Panel. So I'm getting a vibe. I'm like, wait, so do we retire? Do we all retire early and go back to school? Is that the plan? It's truly inspirational, and I'm sure that's the same sentiment to people who are watching us at home. So I'll come back to you, Anne. What are some of the most emotional, the biggest actually, emotional and psychological adjustments you had to face? Because you didn't leave work today and join USIU tomorrow. There was still a little bit maybe of a gap before the intake. So what are some of the biggest emotional and psychological adjustments you faced after retirement that perhaps no one prepared you for?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. Like I said, people address you by your title. People expect you to behave a certain way and dress a certain way. And so I would go into meetings in jeans and t-shirts, and they're like, today is a working day. Why are you not at work?
Yes.
And I'm thinking,
I'm retired.
Whatever value I used to give you, I will still give you in this setup.
Yeah.
So I think that is one thing that I did not prepare for correctly, because immediately I registered for my doctorate is when I resigned.
Yes.
Because like Daktari here says, doctorate requires the
It's
whole
intense,
of you.
yes.
It's actually a full-time activity. So, and I needed to finish it in 4 years. I didn't want to take longer. So that aspect of even your mom asking you, how could you walk away from a job?
Yeah, to go back to school.
What will happen? And I think in our generation, and I think most people nowadays, they believe if you are a woman and you're working and you have money, then you have that stability even in the family setup. And the moment you walk away, things might just become bad for you, even in the society and everywhere. So I think that question of, so what will you do? Where will you get finances? How will you be viewed by everyone? And I'm like, I've got myself cut out for what I want in the next phase of my life. So it's very important to have self-awareness that these questions will come to you, and they are not supposed to demean you or intimidate you to start looking for a job the following day. So that you have a place to call, a place you're going to work, and a title that you have, even if you are not earning as much. So you must make a decision and move with it.
Wow.
Yes,
I love
stand
that.
on it.
Yes, society does have that sense of dread. You've left work. Umeretire. Ai, sasa utafanya? How are you going to pay your bills? You know, so we've really attached our value as people, and more so because it's Dadas Show as women, to the work that we do. Watoto wakitoka nyumbani, people have graduated and left. Sasa utafanya? And there's even that fear for, you better get something to do or you'll die. You know, the fear for when you retire now, you're going to, this is your demise, you know. I want to pose the same question to you, Daktari. What was some of the emotional and psychological adjustments that you were not prepared for? Nobody warned you, then you found yourself, you know, facing it. Yeah.
Okay, I think emotionally, as you're saying, retiring as a deputy principal, where you're used to people recognizing you, and I went back to the estate and you're called Mama so and so, and not Madam.
Not Madam.
It really shocked me that even when you meet, like I would unconsciously find myself, like when I meet young people on the road, I want to check on their uniform. Are they dressed well? What are they doing? Because
what are they doing?
That is what I had done for 9 years. Yeah. Yes. Are you properly dressed? Are you using the right language? So I had to tone down. And then, as Daktari has said, everybody leaves and you're there. And then even for me, my kids left. Like now my last one has just finished 4th year. So you're in the house alone and you're like, what am I going to do? Sometimes I'm there with my spouse, and even just going to the kitchen to get a cup of water is a challenge. So who goes? We forgot. Who
will send who?
So it became quite a challenge. Yeah, that you're just there alone.
Oh, wow. I mean, and I like the reality. You're talking reality, which is something you ask. So when you're left with your spouse, for those who have spouses, and for the whole time you people have been in a rat race, you know, would you find yourself looking across the table and wondering, oh, ni nani? Because it's been so many years, you know, you people have been operating like co-workers in a space, you know. Wow, thank you so much. Still on you, Carol, financially. Because now you left employment, you know, especially a good job, you know. So, and both of you actually went from employment back to school, and you're talking your doctorate, which of course costs money. So financially, what has been the greatest lesson since retiring, and what do you wish every working Kenyan woman understood before they retire?
Yeah, that's a very good question, because I had a bit of challenge with finances. For one, I was used to my money, paying my bills, and then having to ask my spouse, oh, I need to go somewhere, can you spare me 2K, 1K? And that was quite humbling.
Yeah.
And then secondly, you find that people still expect you to take up some responsibility.
Yes.
For example, in church, there's a committee, fundraising, or a friend's daughter has a pre-wedding, or you have to do this and this, so it becomes a challenge. And then as a civil servant, basically the pension takes over a year to be processed. So if you don't have anything to do, it can be quite tough.
Yeah.
So my advice is that for anyone planning to retire, please make sure you have some money set aside that can cater for your bills. For young people, like now when we do team building for teachers, I always tell them, start saving now.
Start saving now.
Put something away, because even if you say you will work until you're 60 for a teacher or a civil servant, and then you'll get a pension, it takes over a year, sometimes 2 years or 3. So there are needs that will not wait for that long.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much. I want to pose the same question to you, Dr. Kamau. What is it like? What are some of the lessons financially? Because I know financially, the moment someone just pulls away, maybe the livelihood, everybody sort of their head spins. How did you deal with that, and what lessons would you want to tell, a woman who's, before retiring?
Thank you very much again for that question. For every woman, it is important to know that when you retire, your bills don't retire. So it's important to check on your lifestyle and what you can keep after retirement.
Yes.
How you can be able to fund your lifestyle. I think for me, this conversation was given to me when I was 27 years old.
Wow.
In Kodak, I was a management trainee. To take up a management role.
Yeah.
And I remember when the conversation came and we were told to sign up for a retirement talk. Everybody who was under 40 did not sign. And they said, I am not old. So the facilitator was told, you can't come because we don't have a forum. So he sent a message to HR and said, in fact, I don't want to talk to people over 40. I want those young ones.
Yeah.
Because I want them to know from the date you start earning, you start planning for retirement.
Start planning for retirement.
And that was very critical for me. So it's very important for people to have this conversation when they are young. So what we did, my husband and I have always operated joint accounts. And so there is no your money, my money. So even when I was not at work, I accessed the funds. But also we had other streams of income. It's very, very important to have other streams of income other than your 8 to 5 job.
Absolutely.
And knowing that one day you can actually wake up and go to the office and that job is no longer yours. Not that you have decided to retire or
it
you've
happens.
decided to leave, but it's not there. So luckily for me, we had other streams of income, and we had planned for my doctorate like 5 years before then.
Wow.
And we set aside money for that. So in one of the streams of income, 100% was part of my pocket money.
Wow.
So I was lucky. But every woman
you're a very
do
organized
that.
human being. When I grew up,
that conversation when I was 27 years changed my life.
I don't even know what I was doing at 27.
Because it was clear that you will have to know what to do when that job ends, when the calls stop coming in, and there's no salary at the end of the
And
month.
there's no salary at the end of the month. That's brilliant. And I like what you've talked about, multiple streams of income. You know, this is definitely something that we are putting together, especially as Dadas Show. We want to encourage women, you know, so we will put together a show, especially for the audience who are watching, to remember to stay tuned. We will put together a show about 8 to 5, beyond 8 to 5. You know, what are the revenue streams that are available for women to explore, you know, so that you're not depending. I normally say in this Kenya nowadays, to have one job is really cutting it close. Unless it's those jobs for 10 million, then those are you can have that one, you know. But I think majority, I have sides, you know, side business, etc. So we're definitely, that is in the pipeline, and I'd urge you to stay tuned. So now let's come back to you, Carol. How have your relationships? I know sasa ya kutumana, hakuna mtu wa kutumana kikombe. How have your relationships with your spouse, your children, your friends, and your community changed since you left formal employment? Because of course you have your work group. How has that changed?
First of all, as a deputy principal in a boarding school, I would only go home after 2 weeks.
Yes.
And so it becomes a challenge. And I was living alone in school, and my family is away. So the relationships improved. But initially, as you've said, there's friction because you're used to, now we're just the two of us in the house. So who should do what? You know, we need to be partners. So should I be the one to get up and prepare the tea, bring the food? Do I start being a housewife after 26 years of working? So there are those frictions. But after that, you find that the relationship improved. We are very good friends, and we are able to coexist. With my children, I'm happy that I've been there. There's a time my daughter had a challenge and she was going through a tough time. I was able to be there. But if I was in school, it would not have been possible. Even the community, there are activities I participate in. So it is a good time. Yeah.
Wow. Very briefly, before we take a break, I'd ask you the same thing, Dr. Kamau. How has the relationships been?
In the community, I think for me it was a bigger challenge because then they want you to continue behaving the way you are behaving when you had your 8 to 5 job, and giving them tips the way you used to do in terms of what do you need to do. And I was at a place where I was saying, now I am not running after sales and marketing out here. I'm redirecting my energy elsewhere. Can we have proper conversation? So when they're having conversation on retirement, they wouldn't consider me. But when they want to know how to increase their sales, that's when I'm called. And I'm like, no, that's not what I want to. I want to know how to live as a community person, engage and develop each other. But on the family front, it was excellent. My children initially kept asking, Mom, why are you not going to work? Why are you sacked? What is wrong with you? Do you have a problem? Can we help? Because sometimes having conversation with your children is at different levels. Actually, if they are at different age levels. Some of them could not understand, especially the younger one. But over time, they have understood that mom is in a new phase. So sometimes the embrace you get from the community is different. And again, you have to create a new community.
You have to create a new community that is relevant to the chapter that you are in.
Yes.
You know, women,
so I'm having newer relationships that I need to develop.
That's excellent, because women, we have a tendency of hanging on. We hang on. Not the way you have that pair of shoes that you need to let go, or those jeans that you know cannot fit you. That is towards a shiko. You know, so I think even in new chapters of our life, it is okay. It is not saying that you do not love those people anymore. It's saying that you're embracing this new path and this new chapter of your life with everything that it comes. So we're going to take a short break, and then we'll be back for the question and answer session. Don't go far away. Welcome back. Our conversation of the day is life after retirement. And we've had an opportunity to interact with Dr. Kamau and Dr. Muhonja, who have told us what their experience has been since, they left formal employment. And wow, what a conversation that has been. So this is the time that I love the most about this show, which gives the opportunity to our audience to ask questions, give their feedback, share with us their experiences. And this particular case, we do have quite a number of retirees. So I'm going to give an opportunity to 3 in our audience to tell us, so that the people at home don't look at retirement like it's this monster. It's right here with us. To start us off, we have... I was about to call you Salome again. To start us off, we've got Madam Consolata. Consolata, karibu sana.
Thank you very much again. My name is Consolata for the ones who have not been here before. And I'm a retiree, but I'm not tired. And to my experience, I've realized so many people they fear so much about the retirement because maybe there are some who do not know how to retire or when to retire. But in my payslip or in many payslips, it's written your retirement date and year. So that one gives you, emotionally, you feel you are ready to retire. But still there are people who they are phobic about it. And you see they feel uneasy that they are going to retire. To me, it was very welcoming. I was very ready. And I was very prepared to move on because I had prepared myself psychologically that I'll move to that kind of a job because I used to work in the hospital and the work in the hospital. So I really wanted very much to move and rest. And to my surprise, I have a lot of work to do even outside there. I'm being called by so many people to work for them because there are so many people sick at home. They call me and they tell me the patients are here, you can do this and this and this. So still there is some work still I'm doing. So what I'm telling the young people, at least your age, when you are supposed to retire, be prepared psychologically so that you won't get stressed and you won't be disturbed by these things because sometimes life is difficult for people who are not ready.
So we've got someone else who wants to share with us her retirement story. Karibu sana, Madam Lucy Gitonga.
In fact, I retired when I was very young. I didn't take it as a retirement. I took it as from moving from formal employment to employ myself.
Yes.
That time I didn't take it, I'm already retired because I moved from, I was a nurse, I went to business for many years with so many responsibilities. But there came a time, even when I'm on my own businesses, at the age 50 plus, I said I need to retire. At the way I'm going now, that's the time I felt I think my aunt told me I need to rest. Not to stop business, not to stop everything, but at rest. I was very active and overworking. I knew I could employ somebody, and then I could work as part-time. With the full-time somebody employed. So I knew I've retired. That time my children are grown, they have gone out. So when I felt I've retired and now I'm no longer a manager, I'm a consultant. Yes, and I even advise ladies when they retire, don't continue to be a manager. You can continue asking your children, and are your children, how are your children going to school? Have you paid their fees? Have you done this? You are just making yourself a manager of another family.
Yes.
Be a consultant. Let them ask you what they want to do.
I love that.
Let them ask you to encourage them. May you encourage them.
Yeah.
Don't start managing them. So I came, after that, I realized I'm no longer a manager. I'm a consultant. It's to consult me.
Yes.
and I should love myself more.
Yes.
Not learning here and there. I'm forgetting myself.
Yeah.
In fact, I came to love myself that my children noticed I love myself. Yes. They noticed Mama's retired, but she really loves herself.
Yeah.
And I normally tell them, me, I love myself.
Yeah.
Because for the last of the 40 years, I've loved you all. I've loved you, my husband, my children, my spouse will remain loving, everybody. But now I came to know that I serve myself when I'm serving you. So I came to love myself more in my retirement.
Yes.
And I noticed that even I'm more stronger now.
Wow.
Because I love myself. And I'm no longer a manager. I'm not managing so much. I'm just a consultant.
Now you're a consultant.
Yeah, I'm just managing that business of mine, which makes me happy.
Yes.
And I know I have something, because when I left the job, I went from business. In fact, the first thing I said, the first thing I'm going to do, because I don't have that salary, I'm going to invest somewhere to give me my pension.
Yes.
And all those years, I retired when I was 36 years.
Wow.
All those years when educating my children and doing everything I was trying to get my pension, my retirement. And I mean this way, I have built my retirement somewhere. Now I'm working to be active. When you retire, work to be active. Work so that you won't live in, not overwork because you cannot have something to eat. Work to be active. Work to build yourself the body.
There are people who say that, are you living to work or are you working to live? So let's hear our final experience and story. Karibu sana Sue.
Thank you very much. My name is Sue Musandu, and I'm one of those who is almost retiring. I think I was being welcomed by our senior sister here.
By Consolata.
I'm looking forward. For me, my experience starts from when I first worked. I thank God when I finished college, I had a job the following month. And there's something my mother told me, that you're now going to work. At that time I was only 22. You're now going to work. But remember, you also need to start preparing for your retirement. And of course, as at that age, you just wonder what she's saying. Because she's just recently retired. So it looks like it's quite a while that you'll be working. So as I worked, she had told me, you start investing in this. Someone was talking about streams of income. I think we need to know what exactly those streams of income are. But they sometimes tell you to put your money in unit trusts and all these things, the places where you can invest your money as you're working. So by the time you get to retire, you have money which will be coming in, a dividend here, a profit from somewhere. And it's not something you're physically doing, but it's an investment you made, and the streams will now come in, as Anne also shared her experience. But one experience that I witnessed, there was a gentleman who was working for a parastatal.
Yes.
Someone my late father knew. And this person was, I think he had cheated his age. You cut her 5 years.
Yes.
So that when you're saying that you're 55 now.
Yeah. You're most probably 60.
60, yes. So he had pulled that one off.
Yeah.
But I think his employer found out. And so one day when he got that letter which tells you have one more year to go. Those in government know it. And when he received that letter, he opened it. It was in the evening. That's what the colleagues think. And put it on the desk. And then he lay on it. My friends, that man died on his letter, on that table.
What?
Yes. So the following morning when the cleaner is coming, she's finding the boss on the desk.
Yeah.
I think he didn't prepare for retirement.
Psychologically, yeah.
When you're excited and want to retire, you start doing your things. I want to do this, I want to do the other. You start your little consultancy on the side. So at some point, it looks like your employment is wasting your time. You want to do your things.
You want to go and do your thing, yeah.
Yes, maybe you've got a consultancy somewhere, but you're having issues having to leave the office to go and do that consultancy on the side. So it's good to start doing these things early, so that a time comes when you find like your formal employment is wasting your time. I think that's a space where I am now, and trying to set myself up in a totally different field from what I do, and I'm looking forward to my pension. And my retirement.
Thank you so much for trusting us with your journeys and where you are at. I'm sure there's someone who's watching at home who's maybe, you know, in the same field as you, who's thinking, oh, you see, yeah, I want to, you know, I loved what Lucy talked about, loving yourself. So as much as you may think that retirement means society is discarding you, I think it's an opportunity for introspection. Sasa ukule. You relax and just have a good time and follow your passions. So now let's get into the questions, because I'm sure there are questions. I have very many, but I'll give the first opportunity to Daisy. Daisy, karibu sana.
Okay, so my name is Daisy, and I like to ask about preparing for retirement mentally. Because sometimes we've seen people who retire and you can see that they take quite long to adjust. So how did you prepare for retirement mentally, and how did you also prepare your family mentally for the retirement?
Thank you so much, Daisy, for that. I'd love for both of you to take that. How did you prepare yourself psychologically? I want to start off with you, Carol, and then we'll move on to you, Anne. Carol, how did you prepare yourself psychologically and your family as well?
Thank you for that question. I took about 4 years just slowing down and telling myself that I was going home. And it was easier because my spouse had also taken early retirement, so he was already at home, and I think he's the one who was pushing me to go home. And because the kids had seen that their father had retired and was at home, it wasn't a shock for me to also go home. And I remember there are some assignments my boss was giving me. He was telling me to take Form 3 class, geography, and I told her I won't be here next year. She was shocked. What are you going to do? Where are you going? So that, just speaking that I'm going home, made me comfortable when the time came. And then again, with government, of course, you have to give 3 months notice. So within that 3 months, I had started preparing myself that I'm actually going home.
You're actually retiring. And what about the family? But the family had already noticed that Mzee was home. Oh, okay, fine. What about you, Daktari? How did you psychologically prepare for it in your also organized way?
Yeah, mine is very interesting. My 2 parents were teachers, and out of 9 kids, only 1 had taken up teaching as a career. And so when we graduated with our master's degree, both me and my husband, my dad said, this is not where it ends. I need the next. And my husband looked at him and said, me? No, I'm not going back to school, but her. She's cut out for that. And I laughed. And that was in the year 2006. So my career was doing well. I was rising in the ranks. But at the back of my mind, that question continued. Who is going to the next level? And that was my dad's question, because he loved education and pushed us to do our best in the education. So from 2013, my husband kept reminding me, I promised that you're the one going to take that next level. So we started preparing in 2013 that I was going to do my doctorate. So when it came to going back to school, it wasn't a big issue. we set aside some money, like I had said, and also we prepared our children that I was also going to be a student. Yes.
So mommy will also have homework like them.
We were all having homework.
You are all having homework.
And so when we told our parents, my mother-in-law and my mom, they were very excited. And by God's grace, I'm the first doctor, both sides. My husband's side and our side.
Oh, wonderful. And he didn't do this at 20, you know. So, I like the way you're saying that, you know that it's going to come, you know. So you might as well start preparing for it. But I'd also want to hear from a psychologist. Incidentally, the same person who asked the question. You know, what according to your professionally, how would somebody prepare for retirement?
In every stage of life, there are changes, and one of it is retirement. And as you mentioned earlier, that the best time actually to prepare for retirement is early, when you are new in employment. But we usually make a mistake of preparing way late in the stage. So if you get employed early, if you start working, well, not everybody is employed. Some people are in business, some people are farmers, so they don't actually get to know when they are retiring, or they don't get to really retire or change their work. So it's just a matter of preparing early enough, psychologically, and also family. The family aspect is very important. As you mentioned earlier, that your children were surprised. They were asking you, what is happening? Where can we help you? So there is that family aspect, because the first people who will come for your support is your family. So the first thing also, the first people to prepare as well is your family, to get to know that there is this change that is coming, so that mentally they can also give you the ideas of how you can all handle it, and you can all actually brainstorm the ideas on how you can work through it, because you cannot work through these stages alone. So that aspect of preparing everybody is in the family as well.
Thank you so much. That's wonderful. So we've had straight from a psychological perspective what you should do. I mean, preparation, I think, helps in everything. Preparation and having the right support structure around you. Let's move on to our next question. That is from Irene. Irene, karibu sana.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I think one thing I must appreciate is this is a very interesting and necessary conversation, especially right now. And I think for me, it's because I keep wondering, when we talk about retirement, we make that word sound like an animal that is seated somewhere waiting for us, and we get scared. I listened to Daktari saying when they were about to be trained about retirement, and everybody said, I am young. And people shied away from it. Actually, for me, the question is, how do we really define retirement? Because when we say it's like when you stop formal employment, we are having a generation that is actually not into formal employment anymore. And I'm also looking at so many of us here who are in retirement, and I'm so happy to hear great experiences, because I feel like this retirement with the right perspective is actually a refinement.
Yes.
At retirement is when you are the best. You have the best experiences, you have the best knowledge. And I like what Dr. Lucy said, you become a consultant. So with the right perspective, retirement is not like your life stops. It's not like you're doomed. But I feel like we really need to redefine what retirement really is. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I think thank you for throwing the spanner into the works. We really need to go back and redefine what does retirement look like, because the dynamics have shifted. The goalposts have changed. The variables are different. So just the same way we are adjusting to a new reality, we also need to adjust to a new reality. That retirement is definitely not what we have always perceived it to be. And I liked what you said. It's not a retirement, it's a refinement. Hey, I will learn things on this show. So so I am refired. Hey, my refired ladies in the audience. So let's take one final question, and then we can also retire this episode.
My name is Rita, and as a young person, I must say this conversation has served as such an eye-opener to me. And Dr. Kamau did mention about self-care. I'd like you to expound about what self-care really looks like after you've retired?
Thank you very much. And you're young, looking beautiful. Please prepare for that retirement. I did indicate that when you are in very active working life, sometimes people used to ask, how do I achieve work-life balance?
Yes.
And all of a sudden we have said there's nothing like work-life balance.
There's
you can't
nothing.
balance, you can only harmonize, making sure that every aspect of your life are ticking all the boxes. But it's very difficult when you want to scale up the ladder. I think we have all known, and we have always said that what a man can do, a woman can do it better. But you do it better because you work harder.
Yes.
You will have to put the energy, the mind, the everything. So the other aspects of your life gets lost into the mix. You realize you are a spiritual person, and that is affected. You realize you are a social person, and that is affected. Your relationships are not stronger, but your career is hitting the roof.
Yeah.
So self-care is when you take a back seat, or you take back yourself and say, who am I? What is my passion? What do I really love doing? And that's why when she says that whatever she does, she loves it. And she said, I love it. You could see the energy in the love, because she loves herself. I serve myself. I eat myself. So you have to look at your spiritual life. Are you happy with it? Your mental life, are you happy with it? Your social life, the way you socialize with human beings. Because imagine yourself. For me, at that age 27, I started imagining myself at 80. Because retirement for me is slowing down to living a full, an optimal life, even when you are 90.
Yeah.
So it also affects your health. When you're in this rat race, how is your health? Let's be serious. When you're a woman, career woman, with a family, it's very difficult to make sure that the other aspects of your life that are working. So self-care is when you deliberate, take care of yourself, and say, today, this weekend, I'm shutting off everyone. I am going to a sauna. I'm going to the salon. I am going to do nothing but rest. Nothing. But if I love ice cream, I am going to sit. It's not once I take myself to the restaurant and say, and now sit. What do you love eating? Eat the way you want. If you don't want to use a spoon, eat your hands. It is me, and I love it.
Yeah.
If I need to take a walk at Karura, I go there and I walk. If I can call her or her, and they are not available, if they are available, we go together. Now, when you are in this 8 to, we have said 10 p.m. because sometimes you leave the office and go to do some presentations.
Yeah, online.
You cannot do those things. But when you slow down, let's now refire and slow down. Because again, if we redefine retirement and start very active life, at the age of 70, you look back and say, all has been meaningless, chasing after the wind. What am I bequeathing myself? And that's why you said, even family, sometimes children leave, and you are left a desperate woman in the house. You don't know even what to do. You have no relationships in church or in the society or anything. So when you self-care is you holistically take care of yourself and love yourself.
This has truly been one of the most illuminating conversations I have had in a very long time. And I appreciate every single one of you here. As people who are heading there, of course, like we say, young people would always look at retirement with the sense of dread. This is the end of me. Who will I be? Because you've constantly redefined yourself by your family, by your friends, by the work that you do. But I'm so happy and feeling so encouraged, and I hope my audience at home are feeling the same way, so rejuvenated, that as you come close to the end of your work life, and we're talking formal employment, once we figure out how we have redefined retirement, it's important for us to look inward And what makes us happy after years of slaving and chasing everybody around? What makes you happy? Thank you so, so much to my wonderful, wonderful panelists. You ladies have absolutely poured into everybody in here. Thank you so much for the stories that we've had from Consolata, from Madam Lucy, from Sue, and the questions that we've also had. So we've definitely come to the end of this wonderful episode on life after retirement. And definitely we appreciate our location partner for giving us a space where we can be able to hold such illuminating conversation. That is Trizon Resident Hotel here in Kilimani, Nairobi. I want to thank the production team at KBC. I also want to appreciate everybody here, the crew, the producer, and of course myself. I also love myself, but for I love myself so much. I am refired. So, so as much as I want to keep this going, I have to love you and leave you. But for now, goodbye and God bless you.